Here we are. My name is Libby Rae Watson. We're at the Delta Blues Museum again, a wonderful place in Clarksdale, Mississippi. And I'm here today to talk about Big Joe Williams. I have a song I wrote about Big Joe that talks about the first day I met him. And I'll just tell you that story briefly. A friend and I pulled into Crawford, Mississippi back in 1978, and we were looking for Big Joe. And we pulled in the gas station there, and a guy came out, and we said, "Hey, we're looking for Big Joe Williams." And he said, "Oh yeah." He said, "You head down that road just a little bit and take that first left, and you'll go down that road and you'll see a white house with a front porch. That's his sister's house." So we took off out of there and took the left and went down there and saw the house and got out of the car and went and knocked on the door. She came to the door, and we said, "Hey, we're looking for Big Joe Williams." She said, "Well, he's not here." She said, "He lives in a little trailer down the road. You'll see it out there in the field. It's a tiny little trailer." We said, "Well, that's great. You know, we're going to find him there?" She said, "No, he's not going to be there." She said, "You got to go past the trailer, and you'll see a big shade tree. It's going to have a car parked underneath it. He'll be sitting up in that car. You see, it's a lot cooler in the car than in his trailer." So we took off down the road and saw the little trailer over in the field and went on down a little bit, saw that big shade tree, and there he was sitting in the car, big as life, with a shirt on that said Big Joe. So no doubt we found him. So that was a fun day that I'll never forget. Another time with Big Joe that I will never forget is that we brought him down to Jackson when Bob Dylan was playing at the Coliseum there, and it was November of '78. Because Joe knew Bob Dylan, and he used to call him Little Bobby, and he said he taught Little Bobby how to double thump his thumb on the guitar when Bob Dylan was just a kid. And he said he'd come to the park where Joe played out in Chicago and would sit at his feet and watch him. So we took him to Jackson. We wanted to go see Bob Dylan, and it was one of those magical nights where it's, you know, the place is packed, the cars are all lined up, and we pulled into the back, and it was like the Red Sea parted, and in we came with Big Joe Williams. And we were about the only people backstage because they weren't allowing anybody back there. And you know, Dylan took Joe, somebody came and got him, and he went in a room and visited with Bob Dylan. Then he came back out, and we watched the show, and after the show, Dylan came out and sat with all of us for a little bit, very nice, and he repeated the story about learning that thumb thing from Joe, so that was a pretty cool night. That afternoon was also something because Big Joe was recorded by Trumpet Records. And Trumpet Records was owned by one of the only female record companies in the world. It was like the 6th largest independent record company. Miss Lillian McMurray recorded Joe, so she lived in Jackson, and we told her we were bringing him there, and it was funny because she and her husband Willard pulled up in their big RV named Toom Suba, and they pulled up, and we got Joe up in there, and they had a great visit with Miss Lillian up inside the RV, so I thought that was one of those other magical times that I was proud to be a part of. But there is nobody like Big Joe Williams. I'm just here to tell you, nobody can play like him. Nobody can be like him. He was one of a kind, and that's for sure. So come to the Delta Blues Museum up here in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and see all this cool stuff we have for you to come look at and learn about. Again, my name's Libby Rae Watson, and I thank you so much for joining us.